Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you are watching the broadcast. Hello, hello, hello. Um, for those who are going to be live, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's play. Let's have a conversation. Let's come together and do what we do. For those who will hashtag it and replay, hey, Brian. Good morning, sis. For those who will hashtag it and replay it. Good morning, Dorian. Good morning. Good morning. Wonderful, wonderful. I appreciate your hashtag. For those of you who will be on it, I may never know you're on because you're doing what you do, right? What works for you. I can honor that and appreciate that. And for those who will be used by Papa, yes, 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 yes. Judith, good morning, Judith. Good morning and welcome, welcome, welcome. And so I am grateful to be with you all this morning. It is a wonderful, amazing Friday morning. So we are capping off the week. We are capping off the week. I want to remind everyone for the love of it will be on today. It will be on today and it will be a repeat because I am not in the studio today. I'm not in the studio. So it will be a repeat of the interview. So those of you who want to watch the interview, which was a pretty cool episode, I invite you to watch that today at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 to noon. For the love of it, will re-air, and we will be live next week. Back in the studio live next week. So thank you all for being on already this morning, and we will get started here. So leftovers, 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 right? Those are shadows, those are reminders, those are remnants of our past, of past behavior, of past actions, past thoughts, past experiences. It is a part of our past. And it's a reminder of our past. Good morning, Tanya. Hey, sis, so good to see you. It is indeed a reminder of our past, but it doesn't have to be an imprisonment, right? It doesn't have to be an imprisonment. And so when we think about the leftovers, I'm inviting us to fully own our story. Freedom comes in owning the story. That's where freedom comes in. It comes in a full ownership of our story, right? Owning our story is where we get freedom, beloved. It's how we get freedom. Freedom is, well, y'all know from my perspective, freedom is our birthright. And we don't walk in freedom when we have shame or when we are hiding, pretending about our true lived experience. There is a branch of research called qualitative research. And in qualitative research, our primary approach is the lived experience. That's the data, an individual's lived experience. And so that makes us the expert on our own lived experience. So I want to just offer you that you're the expert on your lived experience. Like, really, who knows your story better than you? Who can tell your story better than you can tell your story, from a place of authentic truth, from a place of the real lived experience? Good morning, cuz. Thank God it's Friday. Have a blessed one. Love you. I love you back. I am definitely grateful for the day that it is. This is the day the Lord has made. And so I choose to rejoice and be glad in all of them, right? And so when we think about our lived experience, it's ours. It's ours. I'm going to tell you, if there's anything that I've learned over time, I wish I could get like children to get it. Because one of the things that really get children is when you tell on them, when you talk about them, when you bring up something that's their experience that they don't feel good about, and other people go and tell it. I'm going to tell you, if there's anything I've learned, it is the way to the way to steal the way to not be blackmailed is to tell your own story. And then anything anybody else tells is a rehash, right? If I'm telling my own story about my challenge, my struggle, my leftover, then other people come, well, I know something. So, yep. So you're telling me about me. Okay. And if they have their own version, whatever that's about, like, really, what is that about? And so the thing of it is when we own our own story, then we can use it as a platform instead of allowing it or others' use of it to be an imprisonment. I hope y'all get that. When we own our own story and all of the leftovers from our story, then our story becomes a platform from which we launch, a platform from which we move into other directions, a platform from which we grow and expand and increase, a platform from which we build. It becomes something that helps us to lift, to be lifted, to raise up, as opposed to like an imprisonment of a kind. Do you know? When we're hiding something, that's a limitation and some level of imprisonment. When we're hiding, when we're pretending that something isn't as it is. Do you see? And I'm not talking about calling those things that be not as though they are. I'm not talking about that at all. I am simply talking about the notion of, I'm talking about the notion of owning our story, of owning, fully owning our story. So if we struggled in some area, yep, that was my struggle. When we triumph in an area, yep, that was my triumph. Yep, this was my yes, this was my yes, this is. And good morning, Bernie. Good morning. So good to see you. And when we honor something from the place of, this is the best that I have, like I'm doing, that was the best that I had. So again, all week long, I've been using my arm extra, extra skin and whatever as as a point, as a talking point for my leftover, right? The talking point for my leftover as a tangible. But this is the thing, when we fully own, no, I forgot the thought I was getting ready to make with that. But at any rate, it'll come back. But what I do know is that when we fully own what has been our journey, when we fully own that, then we are not hiding, masking, pretending. We call it as it is. We use it as a platform to inform us, to teach us, to instruct us. It becomes a strength and not a liability and not a weakness. Do you see? Because the other thing, there's no way to win. Uche, good morning. Good morning, my sister. So good to see you. The other way, there's no way to win. Like, there is no way to win from hiding, masking, and pretending. One, we use way too much of our energy trying to pretend that we are what we aren't, that we have what we don't, that we won't, we want, we desire what we actually don't desire. That's too much energy used. When our energy can be better directed into that which is authentic for us, right? Now, if the authentic place doesn't serve us, then our energy is best used from change in the change process. But we don't change well when we don't own where we truly are. We don't change as efficiently, as effectively, and it's just, it costs too much to live in pretense. So I'm inviting us to live authentically, to like embrace our story, stand on our story, not be buried by it. So what? It's your story. And if it doesn't work for you, if there's something in your history that you would rather not be, well, for one thing, it already is. So release that. The only place we have power, any ability to affect change, is in the now. In the current, you can affect change. In your now, you can affect change. That's where we have power. It's the only place we have power, beloved. And so it's now that we can plan for the future, but don't live in the future and don't fear the future because it'll rob you of now. The one thing, the one place that we can affect some powerful change, now we can be I'm free. Now we can be liberated. Now we can be happy. Now we can be. That's the starting place to be, right? It's a whole bunch of stuff I got to work on, and I do it every day. I do some kind of working of things every day. I've got something I've got to work on today, that's really a place of releasing for me, and I'm not releasing as well as I wanted to, right? It's not where I wanted it to be, but I'm gonna have to release that too because it's the best I got. That's where I was going. Is that at any given point, I just firmly believe this. One of my college professors, when I was working on my first master's of counseling, master of arts and counseling, Dr. David Abbott. He was a phenomenal man. How I wish he was here to still mentor me. But one of the things that he taught us is that I'd never heard it before him. He said, at any given time, everybody is doing the best that they can. Now, me at that point, I I was in a different place. I was like, they could do better. They ought to do better. They supposed to do better. They should do better. That was before I knew better. Hmm. And when we live at that place that people ought to, should to, supposed to, we imprison ourselves to where they are. We imprison ourselves to their stage in life because we are hooked into they supposed to, and I'm experiencing this because they're not. Oh, beloved, if we accept now the fact that people are doing the best, sometimes some people's best can mean their best can mean my death or the death of something, right? And so just because I embrace that doesn't mean that I accept it in the sense acceptance in this sense that if I need something different, I don't expect them to change. I change. Like I give people the opportunity to change. We have the conversations, do the teaching, do whatever, whatever. But if I see a pattern, it doesn't make sense for me to just get mad and stick my feet in the sand and demand that they change while I stay lacking, wanting, needing. That doesn't make sense. You have agency, beloved. We can want people to do something different, to grow and expand and increase. But if you see that it isn't working, why are you still staying there waiting on something to be that hasn't been? Now, if we're talking about, months later, years later, decades later, and we still mad at somebody because they didn't change, and now I'm suffering because they haven't changed. No, you're suffering because you didn't change. You're suffering because you didn't move. You're suffering because you keep expecting somebody to do other than what they've shown you that they're going to do. It doesn't matter if it's that they don't want to or that they can't. At the end of the day, you're not getting your need met because you keep staying in the same space. Now, sometimes we got to lament. Sometimes it's just, I'm sad, I'm disappointed. I wanted it to be this way. But if I want it to and it's not, it's on me. Your agency is within you, not outside of you. The agency, thank you, Tanya. The agency is within you, beloved. It is not outside of you. So I strongly encourage you, I powerfully and strongly encourage you to lean into your own empowerment. Now, again, I say this every now and then. When I talk about it in empowerment, anything like that, I am never talking about outside of God. I am never, because, Papa is our creator, and all that is comes from. So that's a given for me. That's a given. Everything that I talk about, everything that I promote is coming from Luke 10:27. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, soul, strength, and thy neighbor as thyself. As thyself is where we do all our work. Because we can't do it for as them. We can't do it for as him. We got to do it for as thyself. Work out your own soul salvation. Walk it out, beloved. Walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out. Walk it out. And so, as we think about it, right? As we think about it, stand on your story. Don't let your story imprison you. I know, in life we have things that we're a little embarrassed about that we would rather not, the story we'd rather not tell. Okay. But if it comes up, don't shrink from it. That's the thing. Like we ain't got to go out and just, shout out, I this, I that, I this, I that, so on and so forth. But if it comes up, stand on it. Don't let it bury you embarrass you, push you into a corner, have you pretending, lying, masking, morphing, being chameleon like because you wanted the story to be different. Create a new story starting now. Start now with a new story. Make it new now. Change it. All of us got stuff. Every last human being on the earth has got stuff. Even infants poop in their pants, right? Even infants poop in their pants. And so we always poop in our pants in some form or another, right? There are things that are outside of their control. And then as they get older, they control it better, but they still have incidences where they poop in their pants, right? And we can say the same thing about us. We still have incidences where we poop in our pants, right? It's a part of life. It is. We can call it all kind of mistakes, errors, challenges, hiccups, yada yada, whatever. We poop in our pants. That's a part of life. That'll always be. Not as often, right? Maybe not as messy, but sometimes that's messy. Y'all get the analogy I'm making with that, right? So own your story. Own your story. Tell your story. Lean into your story. Let your story be the powerful, element that is uniquely you, the part that is uniquely you. Let it be your story, beloved. Well, first of all, it already is your story. So, and can't nobody tell it like you. You get to craft the narrative. You get to craft the narrative. I love that on your own. Thank you, Uche. Thank you. Yeah, because the thing of it is, and so as we think about this notion of leftovers, we all have leftovers from our past. We all have remnants. We all have reminders of where we've been. We all have, um, you know, evidence of our past actions and choices and beliefs and things like that. Own it. And if there's something about it that doesn't work for you today, be about the business of adjusting it. And if you could ask about it, you can decide what to do. You can have the conversation if you want to. You can tell people, I don't choose to talk about that. And it just really depends on the story, the people, the situation, the place, the time, or whatever. Or you can tell your lived experience, not your version, your lived experience of your story. It's your real, true lived experience. Everybody else is telling the secondhand version of whatever. And you can choose. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all why we get buried in it. It's not about what happened, it's about our interpretation of what happened, the meaning and significance that we give to what happened, and then the value we place on ourselves. We judge ourselves by our history. What? What? That's who you were, and maybe it's still who you are, but you are an amazing being. You are an amazing and irreplaceable, unrepeatable, remarkable. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. Have you ever heard what's the song that sings Miracle? I love that song. It's two men, two black men, younger. One has kind of a Caribbean sound, but they sing You're a Miracle. Um, I can't think of the names, but anyway, you are a miracle. You are. And when you embrace that, you can own your story and not be buried by it. And for real though, when we and think about it, what kind of person, or not what kind of person, I don't want to say that. What's happening with a person when they want to take your story and use it against you anyway? Like seriously. If there's a person like that's their MO, like that's their approach to life, something's going on with them that's not very healthy. That's not loving. Seriously. Like somebody's gonna go dig up my or find out some stuff about me that they deem to not be whatever, flattering and yada yada yada. And then they're gonna share it for my detriment, like, why would I be impacted by that? Because something going on with that person. That's their stuff. Like, that's their stuff. Like, you gonna go tell my story for a while? No, beloved. No, 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 no. Even if they're just out of negligence sharing something that isn't for them to share, or like, why would we pass on information that is not beneficial about somebody else? Beloved, I'm just asking us a simple question because we do that. Like, why would we pass on information? What is in us that we feel a need to pass on information that's not beneficial about someone else? Right? Just as a matter of course. Now, if we've got to share information for other things, right? Sometimes we need to share because we need to handle something. But a lot of times we just sharing the stuff. Like, how does that work? How is it helpful? It doesn't serve the person sharing it or the person receiving it or the person who is being shared about. So, anyway, that's what I have to share for today. Make sure that you tune in today. Today is the live broadcast. Today is the live broadcast. Tell us how we can watch a TV show this afternoon. Thank you, my dear. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, normally I do have the ticker tape at the bottom, don't I? On this day. On this day. So make sure that you tune in today. Today is a replay of me interviewing myself. It is hilarious. It's hilarious. So I'm going to try to go on throughout the day to remind everybody to tune in. Like, I want you to copy it. I am going to tune in to do the StreamYard that I did before. And I'm going to watch it live. I'm going to watch it live at 11:30. So I'm going to tune in, and I'm going to invite you to tune in, and 11:30 WHPR. So it's 313watkins.com is the easiest way to access it. So make sure that you're on live, and I'm going to tune in because I want to get it recorded. I want to get it up on YouTube. Okay. All righty. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for being on and engaging and active. All of that. I appreciate you, sis. And I love you. And I love you. I love each one of you. Did you know at the moment that Abba gave us our breath, me and you, we forfeited, we relinquished, we gave up the right to not be amazing. You and I, we do not have the right to not be amazing because we are. We are amazing beyond our imagination. So let's be about the business of it. Okay? Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.